A very good morning, my dear students. How are you, everyone? Fine? Great. Dear students, as per schedule, your science class is there. So, before starting today's class, one positive thought for you, that is, confidence and hard work is the best medicine to kill the disease. Which disease? That is called failure. It will make you a successful person. Dear students, confidence and hard work, they both are necessary in your life. It is like the best medicine to kill the disease called failure. It will make you a successful person. At some steps we fail, but at that time we should not feel low. We should be confident and we should do more hard work to kill the failure. It will make you a successful person. With this positive thought, we will be starting a new chapter, that is chapter number 16, Simple Machines. I think you have read this chapter in 4th standard also about machines. So today we will be reading this chapter. A machine is something that makes our work easier. A machine that has only one or two parts is called a simple machine. All of you know that, beta, with the help of machines, the work become very easier and we can do the work in very less time. It is a time saving also, and it makes our work easier. And machine that has one or two parts only, they are called simple machines. Usually a simple machine makes our work easier by letting us use a smaller force, but this does not reduce the amount of work we have to do. You know that work is done when a force is applied on something and it moves. Do you remember how work done is measured? Work is equal to amount of force multiplied by distance moved. So beta, a simple machine has one or two parts only, and with the help of machine, it is not there that your work should be less. It does not reduce the amount of work that we have to do. With the help of machine, when work is done, when force is applied on something and it moves. And how to calculate the work, how much work you have done, that is amount of force multiplied by distance moved. Now, when you unscrew a nut with your hand, you do some work. You apply a force on the nut which then moves through a small distance. You can also unscrew the nut with a spanner. See in the picture, that is called spanner, which is a simple machine. So beta, when we apply force with the help of hand, then you can do work. You apply force, you apply a force on the nut which then moves around through a small distance. But we can use for this, for unscrewing the nut, we can use spanner also. Spanner is a simple machine. How spanner will help you? It helps you loosen the nut easily by applying a smaller force. But a fixed amount of work is same in both conditions. Either you are using your hands to unscrew the nut or you are using the machine. So a fixed amount of work has to be done to open the nut. This means that the product of the force which you have applied and distance has to be the same, whether you use your hand or a spanner. Work is same. So while applying a smaller force, you have to move the spanner through a larger distance. In this way, you gain in terms of force, but you lose in terms of distance. Remember that work done by a simple machine can never be more than the work you put into it. So beta, it is not there that work amount is less when you are using machines. Work is same. you have to apply the force. With the help of spanner, you have to move the spanner through a larger distance, but in this way you gain in terms of force and loss in terms of distance. So you see in the picture, nut is there. With the help of spanner, you are losing the nut, large distance and smaller distance, you can see. Next is levers. We use levers all the time. How? You are using scissor at your home or bottle openers. For example, they are called levers. Lever is what? A lever is a simple machine in which a bar or a longish part moves freely about a fixed point. This fixed point is called the fulcrum, that is denoted by F. And the force you applied, that is called effort, E, and the weight to be moved, that is called load, L. So levers can be of three types depending on whether the fulcrum, load or effort is in the middle. So beta, we are using scissors at home, we are using bottle openers at home. They are a simple machine and they moves freely through fixed point. And that fixed point is called fulcrum. And the force which you are applying, with the help of scissor you are cutting, or with the help of bottle opener you are opening the bottle, that means you are applying the force, that is called effort. And the weight to be moved, you have to open the bottle opener, they are called load. So levers can be of three types. Because how? Because you are seeing in the pictures L, F, E, F, L, E, F, E, L. In this first picture, fulcrum is in middle and load and effort are on sides. In second picture, load is in middle, and third picture, effort is in middle. Effort is in between middle. So on the basis of this, levers are of three types: first class lever, second class lever, third class lever. So in first class lever, first type of lever, the fulcrum is in middle. Fulcrum is what? That moves through a fixed point. For example, you can see scissor. A nut is in between, that is fulcrum. And when you are cutting, that you are applying the force, and load is that you are cutting. So crowbars, seesaw in parks, you can see it moves through a fixed point. One side effort, another side is in load. Pliers, you can say, so they are levers of this kind. So when you use a spoon, in first example, to open the lid of a tin, you are using a mini crowbar. In second type of lever, in bottle openers, lemon squeezers, nut crackers and wheelbarrow. See in the picture, lemon squeezer, wheelbarrow, nut cracker or bottle opener. The load is in between, right? Load is in between, and another side effort, and first side, that is fulcrum. Where it is moving, fulcrum in wheel bar, wheel is there, that is moving through wheel. In lemon squeezer, see, fulcrum is here because it moves through a fixed point. So in this way, these are the second class lever. Third class lever, the effort is in middle. The forearm, tweezers, so tongs, spades, they are example of third class lever, right? Next is, so we have discussed about, that is levers. Now next is pulleys. A pulley is kind of a wheel with the rope going around it. The simple machine does not reduce the force that has to be used. How does it help then? It helps by changing the direction in which the force has to be applied. For example, when a laborer uses a pulley to lift building materials, he pulls down on the rope hanging from the pulley. Without the pulley, he would have to pull the load up. Pulling something up is always more difficult than pulling it down. So here one activity is there, you can see. This activity will show you that This activity will show you that a pulley does not reduce the force that you have to use to lift something. So here, hang something heavy from a spring balance and note the reading. Then attach a string to the spring balance and pass the string over a pulley. As shown, you can use a doorknob and a curtain rod as a pulley. You will see that reading shown by spring balance does not change. So see in the picture beta. This is pulley. When a rope, basically when a rope hanging from the pulley, then he pulls down, and without the pulley he would have to pull the load up. But without pulley it is not possible because it is more difficult to pull it up is always more difficult than pulling it down. Next is inclined planes. An inclined plane is just a sloping surface, a ramp. Outside your home's a ramp is there, that is an inclined plane. Sloping plane basically. So is a plank of wood used as shown in the picture. An inclined plane reduces the force you have to use to lift something, but the distance you need to cover along the plane is greater than the distance you would cover to lift the load straight up. Right? So you can see the picture outside in hospital also. The ramp is there, sloping plane is there, so that wheelchair can be easily moved up or down. So an inclined plane is just a sloping plane. A ramp is an inclined plane. So is a plank of wood used as shown in the picture. It reduces the force you have to use to lift something, but the distance you need to cover along the plane is greater than the distance you would cover to lift the load straight up. Next is screw. You must have seen the screws. It is like a nail with an inclined plane wrapped around it. When you hammer in a nail, you have to use a lot of force to drive it straight in. When you drive in a screw, on the other hand, you have to use less force. So if you are using nail or you are using screw, then in the case of nail you have to use a lot of force, but in the case of screw you have to use less force. This is because nails cover a much shorter distance than the screw. While turns along the screw thread. The screw thread, that is the inclined plane wrapped around the screw. So see in the picture a screw, like it turns along, it is like a thread that it moves around it. So activity, cut a right angle triangle out of piece of paper, color the longest edge of the triangle. This is your inclined plane. Next is wheel and axle. The wheels of the vehicle have a rod attached to them, and this rod is called axle. You can see it in the toy cars too. In general, any wheel-like thing with a rod attached it is called a wheel and axle arrangement. It can be used either to gain distance or to magnify force. In a vehicle, the engine turns the axle with great force. The axle makes the wheel turn. Since the wheel is much bigger than the axle, it covers a greater distance. So beta, in first example you are seeing that wheel and it is attached with the rod. That rod is called axle. Right? You can see in toy cars too. So wheel like thing with the rod attached to it is called a wheel and axle arrangement. In a vehicle, the engine turns the axle with great force, and with the help of axle, wheels will turn. Since the wheel is much bigger than the axle, it covers a greater distance. Now second is, see in the picture, second picture, that is screwdriver. The thick handle is the wheel, and the thin rod with a sharp edge, that is called axle. Here you turn the wheel, which turns the axle through a smaller distance but with a greater force. A doorknob works in a similar way. When you turn the large knob wheel, though the rod attached to it rotates through a smaller distance but with a greater force. This helps you unlatch the door easily. So this is a wheel and axle arrangement. So beta, we have discussed about simple machines. right? So first lever are of three types: first class lever, second class lever, third class lever. It depends upon the fulcrum, load and effort positions. Next is pulleys. Next, inclined planes, screws, wheel and axle. These all the machines you use at home, so you can try it at home in guidance of your parents also, and read this chapter carefully and try to solve back exercise. Thank you. God bless you.